going to be reconvened next month. Okay, so we're going to welcome the first set from our featured poet today, Max Fishel, and Max has sent this lovely little biography, so I'll probably just read it all out really. Max is from Liverpool, but lived in London for over 40 years. He's materially described as alternating between deep, silly and poignant. He worked in the NHS for 5 years, state education for 40, but also he's a lifelong player of Irish music and plays a weekly session in South London every week. So I did say a weekly session. He's involved in education, equality and disability issues, and he says he's a dad, a granddad, a partner, a human. We can vouch for that. Please welcome, first time featuring at DODO, Max Fishel.
Thanks very much, and thanks to Patrick for letting me do this, actually. It's a great honour. I'd like to start with one which is for anyone who's ever felt like an outsider, and it's called It's Hard. It's hard being a bloke. I guess it's hard being a girl. It's hard being a budgie, but it's really hard being an amoeba. Because if you're an amoeba, you've only got one cell. How do you put your headphones on or ring the doorbell? You're totally disenfranchised. You haven't got the votes. It's hard to go out on the streets and protest or wear a coat. Your sex life's non-existent. No chance of a nice orgasm, and people are rude to you out on the street. They say, "Oh look, here comes the old bag of cytoplasm." You hang out with other unicellulars like protozoa and bacteria. But when this is reported in the Daily Mail, only causes panic and hysteria. You self-identify as an outsider on the fringes of society, indulge in inappropriate gas exchange, which leads to high anxiety. Yes, it's hard being an amoeba. Even the spelling is weird. You can try moving to Shoreditch, but you'll never grow a beard. But don't complain too hard, my friend. You've only yourself to blame, because when everyone else was evolving, you just stayed the same. You didn't grow an arm or leg or intestines or a pert little bomb. You just floated around in oceans looking for your mum. So yes, it's hard being a bloke. I guess it's hard being a girl. It's hard being a budgie, but it's really hard being an amoeba.
Great.
Thank you. This one is about what we're surrounded with at the moment and has come up over the last few years. Dogma. There's loads of dogma about everywhere, isn't there? So this is called Dogma. I met a man in the park. He was taking his dogma for a walk. His ideology locked and loaded, ready to blast any shred of evidence that disavows his premise and shot his unreason down in flames. He carried a copy of the Daily Mail, clamped in a stinking armpit, the sweat oozing into the paper, somehow making it easier to read as the acid in the sweat brought out the hate in the text. As I watched, the dogma started howling. It was rabid, hungry. "More lies! More lies!" it screamed, so the man fed it a nice, juicy scapegoat, pushed the writhing, squirming creature into the slavering, fetid mouth of his dogma. That man's best friend. Thank you. Thanks very much. This next one changes the tone a bit, really. It's about this, which is a massive great number, right? And it's approximately a number called Avogadro's number. Has anyone heard of this? Avogadro's number? Yeah, if you do science, you come across this. And it is a huge, great number. So, this is a poem about this number. and how somebody deals with it. I'll read it then. Avogadro's number. In her tiny front bedroom on the banks of the Humber, young Kelly struggles with Avogadro's number. 6 and a bit times 10 to the power 23, but this is far too big to fit into her bedroom. Seriously, there are too many zeros. Oh, spilling out the door, squashing Kelly against the wall. She's looking paler and paler, losing her breath, but she has her inhaler. Staves off death. Then Kelly has a blinding thought to get rid of all these evil noughts. A calculator is what she needs. Divide the bastard till it bleeds. She taps in the digits with deadly intent. Fully committed, 100%, bears her teeth in a line. Hits the equal sign. The noughts start to crumple from round. One by one they collapse on the ground at her feet. Kelly's victory is complete, and as she crawls into bed, settles for slumber, thinks, up yours, Avogadro, and your fucking stupid number. Okay, well, this is a bit more serious. As I said in my bio, I'm from Liverpool. And I'm also Jewish. I grew up in the shadow of the Second World War with Jewish parents, which was quite intense, really. It's all I ever heard about for 18 years. So this comes from that. It's called I Was Never Beaten as a Child. I was never beaten as a child. Maybe that was because my father was absent most of the time. Away 4 nights, home for 3, just leaving my mum and me, not speaking much at all as we passed each other in the kitchen or the hall. The front room lined with books about concentration camps and the Holocaust, of course. Naked skeletons in a pit were the companions I grew up with. She told me to be careful. Every time I left the house, the Nazis were out there in Liverpool 17. Smithdown Road leading to the gas chambers at the pier head. The number 5 bus, my very own kinder transport to hell in her mind. This man and woman I called my parents fed and clothed me well. He made the money, she cleaned the house, I did my homework. They said I was a Jew, assumed I was a Jew, as far as they knew. Thank you. Anyone here from Kent? Yeah. Right. Or anyone here ever been to Kent? Yes. Right. So this is about Kent. It's called Kent Cant. I got spoiled in Margate. Saw sheep in Ramsgate. Later I went to my front gate. Fuck me, I get around. Next stop was Dover to meet my friend Cliff. Round the coast to Dungeness in all its grey dungeness. Folkestone, Hythe, but watch the camber in the road. Fuck me, I get around. I was disgusted with Tunbridge Wells, and the Garden of Eden bridge was no paradise. Can you Adam and Eve it? Fuck, I really get around. Next, I went to Swale to try and see a whale, then on to Deal to see a seal, but to get down to the beach there were just too many broad stairs. Oh, I get around. And after all this travelling, it was time for a sandwich and a glass of rye, and watch the world go by and wonder why. The weather was bad in Rainham, and it was too hot in Warmer, but we made headway in Medway. Talked for hours in Chatham about how girls near Maidstone avoid grizzly bears in West Malling. Did a 180 in Dartford. Signed up to hashtag #MeToo, driving on the hashtag M2. Saw the bodies in Gravesend, told tree jokes in Seven Oaks. Go wrong, you can't in Kent. Okay, 2 more.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Right, this is one which I found after a long time of not seeing this. This was one I wrote when I was a new dad, which is quite a long time ago now, and I was trying to get our girls to go to sleep. You've been there? Little babies trying to get to sleep. So I wrote this poem for that purpose. I mean, it failed, but I've still got it. Poem for a poppet. I am a little peanut. I flit from bough to bough. And when I've finished flitting, I moo just like a cow. I only have a push bike. It gets me where I go. It doesn't have a motor or a hi-fi radio. On Thursdays I drink water. On Friday milk with tea. At weekends I drink nectar. I get it from a bee. I like to read some writing and write some poetry about silly things that happen underneath the deep blue sea, like when the fish have parties down among the rocks and give each other presents like sweets and jokes and socks. My name is Fergus Flimflam. I've told you this before. I haven't got a sixpence and I stand upon the floor. And now it's time to finish and close your eyes at last. But don't forget to smile a smile before this day is past. Night night. Okay, this final one is a poem with a chorus, which you might like to join in on if you feel like it. It comes around 3 times, I think. Yeah. And it explains why I do not engage at all with social media. So I call it anti-social media. It goes like this. I don't do Facebook, I don't do Twitter, I don't do Instagram, I don't drop litter, and I haven't got an iPhone or a smartwatch. I've only got a stupid one that doesn't do much, and I don't walk around with wires in my ears. I prefer to talk to people. I guess it shows me years. Now if a woman goes on Twitter and says what she thinks, all the trolls go crazy, the whole thing stinks because they threaten her with violence, rape or death or worse. You wonder if the internet's a blessing or a curse, and kids get cyberbullied. It drives them to despair about their size or shape or weight, the colour of their hair. Your sister is a slag, your brother he's gay, your mother she's a dirty slut, she's on her back all day. That's why I don't do Facebook, I don't do Twitter, I don't do Instagram, I don't drop litter, and I haven't got an iPhone or a smartwatch. I've only got a stupid one, it doesn't do much, and I don't walk around with wires in my ears. I prefer to talk to people. I guess it shows me years. Then there's all the fake news bots churning out the shite, all the lies and hate and fear spewing from the right. There's Cambridge Analytica, the Daily Mail or worse, disabled, black or Muslim, they want you in a hearse. But who gets rich from all these apps, all the myriad taps on your haptic screens? You know what I mean. Facebook, Amazon, Google and the rest pay no taxes, the shareholders know best. Hey Alexa, fuck off out of my house! That's why I don't do Facebook, I don't do Twitter, I don't do Instagram, I don't drop litter, and I haven't got an iPhone or a smartwatch. I've only got a stupid one, it doesn't do much, and I don't walk around with wires in my ears. I prefer to talk to people. I guess it shows my years. Thank you very much.
Max.